Discipline is not hard because you are lazy. It feels hard because your brain is designed to avoid it. Every time you try to wake up earlier, save money, stick to a budget, or ignore an impulse purchase, something inside you resists. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. And that quiet resistance wins more often than we like to admit. Tonight, let's talk about why. Not in a motivational way, not in a just try harder way, but in a truthful way. But the problem, discipline feels heavy. Most people think discipline is about willpower. You either have it or you don't. But if that were true, intelligent, capable adults wouldn't struggle to stick to a savings plan, avoid emotional spending, follow through on financial goals, stay consistent with investing, and yet they do. You do, even when you know better, even when you care deeply about your future. That's the confusing part. You understand what to do, but doing it feels heavier than it should. Why? Pause for a moment. Think about the last time you promised yourself you would save more money this month. What happened? There was a small justification, a small reward, a small, "I deserve this," and discipline slowly dissolved. Not because you are weak, but because discipline goes against something much older than logic. The psychology your brain prefers now. Over later, your brain has one primary goal: survival and comfort. It does not care about your pension at 65. It does not care about long-term compounding. It does not care about your 5-year financial plan. It cares about now. There is a psychological concept called present bias. It means we value immediate rewards more than future ones. $50 or $50 today feels real. $5,000 or $5,000 in 10 years feels abstract. So when you refaced with buying something now or investing for later, your brain quietly whispers, "Take the reward." Discipline feels hard because you are asking your brain to choose delayed reward over immediate comfort. And biologically, that is unnatural. Pause here. This is not a character flaw. It is wiring. Emotional spending and hidden relief. There's another layer. Discipline feels hard because money is emotional. When you spend impulsively, it is rarely about the object. It is about relief. Relief from stress, relief from boredom, relief from feeling behind in life. In the UK and US, especially for adults between 18 and 50, financial pressure is constant. Rising costs, housing stress, career uncertainty, social comparison through screens. You scroll, you see others upgrading, traveling, buying homes. Your brain interprets that as a threat to status and belonging. So you spend, not recklessly, but subtly. Discipline feels like deprivation. Spending feels like relief. And the human mind will almost always choose relief, even if it creates regret later. Heart identity conflict. The real struggle. Here is the deeper truth. Discipline feels hard when it conflicts with your identity. If you see yourself as bad with money, not consistent, someone who never sticks to plans, then every disciplined action feels unnatural. You are not just fighting temptation. You are fighting your self-image. And humans protect their identity more than they protect their goals. If your internal story says, "I always mess this up," then your brain will subconsciously look for proof. And it will find it. Missing one workout, skipping one savings transfer, buying one unnecessary thing. Then comes the familiar thought, "See, I knew it." Discipline didn't fail. Identity did. Pause here. This is important. Until your identity shifts, discipline will always feel like force. The comfort of chaos. Strangely, inconsistency can feel comfortable. If your finances have always been slightly unstable, if you've always spent a little too much, if you've always started strong and faded, that pattern becomes familiar. And the brain loves familiar, even if familiar is stressful. Steady discipline creates something new, predictability, slow growth, quiet progress. But if you're used to financial chaos, calm can feel boring. And boredom is uncomfortable. So you unconsciously create disruption again. A purchase, a risk, a break from structure. Discipline feels hard because stability feels unfamiliar. Where willpower is a limited resource, another truth most people ignore: willpower drains. After a long day of work, commuting, responsibilities, and decisions, your mental energy is lower. So at 9 p.m. when you say, "I'll review my budget," your brain says, "Tomorrow." Not because you don't care, because decision fatigue is real. Studies in behavioral psychology show that the more decisions you make in a day, the worse your later decisions become. Discipline feels hardest at night, at the end of the month, when you're stressed. And that's when financial mistakes usually happen. This is not about strength. It's about energy management. During the shift. Make discipline smaller. Here is the quiet shift. Stop trying to be disciplined. Start making discipline unnecessary. Instead of relying on willpower, automate savings. Schedule investments. Remove saved card details from shopping apps. Create friction for spending. Create ease for saving. If discipline feels hard, reduce the number of moments where you need it. Design beats motivation. Every time, pause. Imagine if your savings happened automatically. No debate, no emotion, no decision. That's not discipline, that's structure. And structure is calmer than willpower. But change identity first. Behavior second. Instead of saying, I need to save more, say, I am becoming someone who respects future security. Small difference, huge impact. Identity-based change works because it rewires self-perception. When you transfer money into savings, you're not trying to be disciplined. You are acting in alignment with who you are becoming. This reduces internal conflict. And when conflict reduces, discipline feels lighter. Not easy, but lighter. Expect resistance. Another reason discipline feels hard. You expect it to feel easy once you decide. It won't. The first months of saving seriously will feel restrictive. The first months of investing consistently will feel uncertain. The first months of saying no will feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not failure. It is adjustment. Your brain is recalibrating its reward system. Over time, the reward shifts from spending pleasure to progress satisfaction. But that shift takes repetition. Quiet repetition, not dramatic transformation. To replace intensity with consistency, most people approach discipline with intensity. They cut all spending. They create strict budgets. They promise extreme change. Then they burn out. Discipline feels hard because you're sprinting a marathon. Instead, lower the bar. Increase consistency. Save a smaller amount you can maintain. Invest steadily, not aggressively. Track spending weekly, not obsessively. Discipline should feel sustainable, not heroic. If it feels heroic, it won't last. Redefine discipline. Perhaps discipline isn't forcing yourself. Perhaps it is protecting your future self. Think about yourself 10 years from now. In the UK or US, financial stability increasingly depends on personal decisions, pensions, investments, savings buffers. No one is coming to manage that for you. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. When you view it that way, it becomes less about restriction and more about care. You are not denying yourself. You are safeguarding yourself. That emotional reframing changes everything. A quiet truth. Most people avoid here is something uncomfortable. Sometimes discipline feels hard because you are chasing goals that are not truly yours. You are saving to match someone else, investing because social media says you should, building wealth out of comparison. When the goal is external, discipline drains faster. But when the goal is internal, peace, security, freedom from anxiety, discipline becomes meaningful. Pause here. Why do you want financial stability? Not the impressive answer, the honest one. Hold that, because clarity reduces resistance. A different relationship with discipline will probably never feel exciting. And that's fine. It's quiet, subtle, often invisible, but over years it compounds, just like money does. If you've struggled with discipline, it does not mean you lack strength. It means you are human. The shift is not to force yourself harder. It is to understand yourself better. Reduce friction. Automate wisely. Change identity slowly. Expect resistance. Choose consistency over intensity. And let time do the heavy lifting. Pause. You don't need to transform overnight. You only need to move slightly differently than yesterday. If this perspective helped you see discipline in a clearer way, stay with this channel. We talk about money not just as numbers, but as behavior, identity, and long-term psychology. Quiet growth is still growth, and over time it becomes wealth.